How do some people know when a meme coin is about to move and the range to set for their LP where they can make really nice P&Ls? Apart from choosing trending tokens or just putting bid asks on it, they might be using this tool right here, which is called Clobber. It shows you exactly how much money it takes to move any Solana meme coin, such as this one right here. It shows you easily if there was a 30k buy order, what the price would move to. So it would take about a 20% jump, or if there was a 50k sell order, where the price would end up falling to as well. I'm sure, like me, you've had a situation where you entered a coin and you thought it would go up and it just ended up going down, or you thought that it would hit support, there'd be a support level, but then it just kept trending down, or it just went sideways when you're expecting it to move with some volatility. And the reason for all of this is because you're not seeing where the real liquidity is. And this is where Clobber comes into play. What they do is they aggregate data from every major Solana DEX there is. So this includes Jupiter, Meteora, of course, Radium, Orca. This really is a powerful tool and really gives you kind of that insider's edge you might not be currently having. And you're just, got some guesswork when you're trying to pick these tokens. As, people ask me all the time, how do you, what's a method to select tokens? And having a tool like this can be extremely useful. So I think just before diving into some examples and how you can apply this practically, I think it's just worth quickly looking at how it works maybe in traditional markets or on centralized exchanges or actually on hyperliquid. So you might be familiar with order books, and this is where you have this spread and you have people putting in buys with and people putting in sells, and this typically called the bid ask spread, as we're familiar with our bid ask curves. So this is obviously different than how we do it on chain, where we use liquidity pools and we actually have to make transactions on the blockchains to make our purchases. So instead of me just being able to buy the token, I would say I'm willing to pay at this price, and we would kind of be formed into this V-shaped curve where I would have a buy order and someone would either be willing to sell and fill my order, or they would put what they're willing to sell at, and then we would have this spread. Of course, we do seem to have a few options where you're able to set kind of areas where you want to buy at, such as on platforms like Axiom or Jupiter, but this still uses liquidity pools and you're still doing the transactions on chain, and it doesn't function the same way it does on the centralized exchanges. And this is where Clobber comes directly in. So when we're providing liquidity, we can load it up, we can paste in a ticker. For this example, I have Gore, so I've pasted it in, clearly topped out quite a lot higher, over a 2x higher than it is right now, 22 million. And I put on USD in price, and this is currently on Clobber. We can get quite a lot of information about this token right now. So first of all, we can see when the data was updated. You do have to have premium to be able to refresh it and keep it completely up to date. So the price will be off for this particular example, and the liquidity as a result. If I click refresh, you can see that as well, but we can still get quite a lot of information about it. We do also have a limited price range to view, and that is also because I'm not on the paid plan, but we still get a lot of information. So what we can see here is we can see the distribution of liquidity. So instead of me going on Meteora, me going on pools and searching the Gore token, and there's a bunch of pools. I don't know like overall where the liquidity is. I can click on one of them. I can click add position, and this is what we used to have to do. Go minus 88 plus 80, and you can get a rough idea of where the liquidity is, but this is just one pool. But on Clobber, we have them all aggregated, so we can see that this shape does differ from how it looks on Clobber, but we can see the price. If we fall down here, there's $24,000 in that bin, and it's probably similar to one of these right down here. So for Gore, looking at this, we can get a bit of an idea about it. We can see for the price to rise, it is extremely linear. So it's almost a perfectly straight line here, where if there was buy orders and someone bought 10,000, the price would move, let's say 3%. And if there was another 10,000 buy, we'd go another 3% and so on. But the same cannot be said if the price falls. We can see a very high concentration actually around the current price. And Part of the reason for this, for Gore, could be because of this 20 bin 0.2% pool. Because what a lot of people do is, obviously, the range of a position in this pool only covers a few percent. So people really concentrate their liquidity. If I was to add here, it's only covering a 10% range in total. So when people are doing this, they're covering that really tight range. And we can actually see it just got updated by someone. So that's crazy. We can actually see it's still similar though. But someone is clearly concentrated a lot here, almost acting as a little bit of a support. It's not crazy. But if we see the chart, that is actually probably around this level right here. I'm just taking a guess, but I'm guessing is where, you know, people have this, they've deposited a lot more liquidity. So it's more unlikely the price will break down. It's not saying it won't, but we can see it hit this price. It's gone back up. We're going around here. And because this is a really key level for this particular token. And I'm sure you can already, you know, start to put together in your mind how you could use, you know, this kind of information when you're deciding whether you do want to enter a coin or not. So now I'll just quickly show you a few other examples very quick, just to get an idea of what the charts look like and what the liquidity look like. You can see quite a common pattern is to have obviously lower liquidity at the top, but we do have liquidity getting higher as the price falls. We can see it on Mask, we can see it on Kled, we can see it on Chill House, and this is quite common. And if you think about it, this is people putting in their bid-ask curves. So a lot of this liquidity will be on Meteora. And what people are doing is they are adding their liquidity, putting in a bid-ask. Maybe they are making multiple positions. They are going either in a bigger pool or they're sticking a large number in. And then they're going into each other position and depositing more. So we get this kind of shape right here. But then we do also have some other coins. Obviously, Aura is a very high market cap, but we can see it's a lot more linear. And we do know that this is also listed on centralized exchanges as well. But then we can also see in the current price, so we can see there's gray, so it's at support and resistance. There's a ton of liquidity at whatever this current price point is. And we even need, you know, $60,000 of selling or $70,000 of buying before we do move up or we move down again. So clearly it can be really useful to identify the supports and the resistances where people have sell orders and also buy orders, but also where they've just deposited liquidity in the Meteora pools. But other than that, I think if you want to just learn more, there is a great amount. There's a lot of guides on the learn section on Clubber where they they describe how to use the platform and just go over, you know, some of the things I've mentioned here as well. You can also check out their Twitter where they've made a few posts just going over a few tokens, but you can see a few more of the charts on this particular one. So this would have been a meme coin. You can see someone has a ton of sell orders at this price. If you were in this particular token for Troll, you'd be very likely wanting to exit at this point, and there's very little liquidity below this. So this would probably be a token you would think about exiting. And again, of course, you can do the same when you see a lot of support, and you could see a token like this, such as Labubu, as a good token to potentially go 50-50 on when it was at this price. But apart from just using it for a support and resistance zone where you would make your range potentially for a bid ask or a spot curve, just depends on how it looks, there is a few other strategies you could do. Such as looking at this, we can see at this particular bin for Chill House, there's a lot of liquidity. And we're currently around this price. We can see, you can imagine if you entered a lot earlier, if you do see a strong support, you could have been in the token, and what you could do is you could sell just before it hits, and then when you see it hits, you might see the token retrace and you might want to re-enter at a lower price. Or what you could do is rebuy once it breaks above, so you would rebuy just a tiny bit higher, but you would sell around the current price. And it is worth noting, you can change it into Solana prices. That does make it a lot easier when you actually do go to create your position. And there is this constant product liquidity feature, but this is only for premium. But you can see it displayed on their Twitter with what it looks like. So they do have the premium feature, which basically allows you to refresh the chart, see the full range of liquidity, not just limited between 33% and 50%, and also you get all of the other premium features with the 1,000 refreshes. It is $25 a month. And you can enter a referral code on sign up, but I'm not sure if it actually gives you any benefits if you don't plan on getting anything. So you can sign up without it. But to be honest, you get a ton with the free version of Clobber as well. So the final thing I think that is worth mentioning is you're probably only going to want to use this tool on tokens you were already thinking about entering. You're not just going to go on any random token and decide to enter it. Generally, it's better if they've been out for a day or two. They're not super low market cap. They are, a few million, kind of maybe mid cap for meme coin range or high market cap. And you can load it up and you can identify some of these key levels where you either want to buy in or sell, and to just help you decide what kind of position to make. Another area where it's really strong to use is for a token which is shooting up. When you see that there's barely any liquidity high up, that can be a great time to purchase some tokens, make a quick position, and farm fees as the price rises. And if it starts retracing again, you can get out quick and, go back in with a single-sided Solana position.